Hello and welcome to Games of Lore. Today we'll be just doing some talking about the third edition of Age of Sigmar. Not just, I don't points and all that stuff, whether who's good, who's bad, how badly the Beasts of Chaos got stepped on. I'm not too interested in that. For this particular thing, there's, a ton of great channels out there that are discussing competitive formats and stuff, and who's actually going to be playable, viable in this next edition of Age of Sigmar. I'm mostly interested in, what seems fun to me. And hands down, one of the best things about this next edition is the monster rules. Just being able to have monsters be monsters again. Or for the first time-ish. Except when points didn't exist at all, this is, as far as I can tell, the best time for monsters. And heroes, of course, are getting some great things as well. And heroic monsters, just devastation, poetry in motion. And I'm really excited about some of those units and models, just because I've always believed that when you're coming in with a model, especially something like Gordrak, the Fist of Gork, as if you've watched some of my videos, you've watched him fight Skaven and disappear to a bunch of plague monks. Because he couldn't get the charge, and so he just got torn up and completely destroyed. And that kind of thing, while it can still happen with the new edition rules, it gives you some options and bonuses. That just the heroic actions for, I guess even just taking Gordrak as the example, being able to take a heroic action to try and mitigate some of that, to make him, maybe stay on the table better. Just those kind of things really, I think, make this hobby so much better. Make this game so much better. Because with the smaller unit sizes, we have lots of nerfs to some of the units that would have been towering over the table anyway, with the new build limitations. And then the new table sizes as well. I'm interested to see what comes of that new table size. Just being able to have that slight squishing of the table. I feel like shooting armies are going to have not too much change, but the armies countering those shooting will be able to get up the table faster. And so I do think there will be some more balance in that regard. Really interested in list building. I myself am very narrative in my games. I love the lore of Age of Sigmar, and just about any game I play. Any game that's drawn me in has usually drawn me in due to the stories that it tells. Magic the Gathering, the mechanics are great. I love the game, but it's just the story, not necessarily the portrayal of it. Some of the books, not great. Which is weird because the weekly articles, when they did the weekly story articles, are great. I really enjoy those. But yeah, so the lore of Age of Sigmar 3.0 has me very excited, except for one. There's one tiny thing with Kragnos. The whole thing with Kragnos and kind of going to 3.0 with Cruel Boys is the Cruel Boys seem to be specifically oh yeah, we're super cunning and, still brutal. Cunning and brutal. And they're just sneaky and everything. And, the whole edition seems to be bringing in Kragnos and them together as, not necessarily the best of friends, of course, because the Cruel Boys seem to be tricking Kragnos into, or attempting to trick Kragnos into an eternal warfare. But just the idea that these super cunning orcs are yeah, let's get just the big punchy man on our side. And I kind of feel like that's kind of disappointing to be lore-wise. I feel like it would have been so much more interesting to instead have them, rather than trying to just do a big plan to make him mad forever, try and do little plans to kind of drag Kragnos from point to point where they want him to be. And I feel like that would be a lot more interesting long-term goal-wise for them. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. We don't have a battle tome, and of course, my channel's not big enough yet to have received early copies of Dominion or any of those information or rule sets in there. So I'm like, maybe we'll get better information as to why that makes sense for the Cruel Boys. And I'm completely interested in seeing that. Like, I don't want to be like, oh no, there's no way that's ever going to be good. Like, I will be absolutely ecstatic if that just meshes perfectly. And again, like, they are cunning but brutal. Like, we're happy to see orcs punch things, and they seem just as happy to do so. Just, you know, a little bit of a punching in the back of the head as opposed to the front. And so just kind of seeing and looking into those things, just the entertainment value that can be had within the stories. I really want to start getting into more of the books of Age of Sigmar. They are not cheap. In case you haven't noticed yet, this is not a cheap hobby. I mean, even if you go into a single army, just the upfront cost is not great, but it's worth it to me. Like, I really love the stories and the games. And some of the other things that are interesting me with this new edition, I really like the narrative focus that they keep pushing forward, and I've seen some of the videos explaining the narrative campaigns and stuff and the way that that's going to work, and I think that's great, especially with further support, which the books seem to hint at, of like, hey, totally look forward to all these things that we're going to do to support this. Hopefully that actually happens, because some things have not gotten the support that they deserve. Curse it! I'm just waiting for whatever the horrifyingly either large or small, like, Gordrak equivalent to the Cruel Boys is. Like, I hope so much that is one of the opening models. And I kind of wish they had done that in Dominion. I guess that was one thing that I kind of wished, is that they were going to do a Gordrak level model for Dominion box instead, because they do Indrasta, who's just this amazing, like, epic looking character, and then it's like, I'm random work number 5. Yeah. But yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to. Hope to see you continue on enjoying the channel, and please, again, if you would like and subscribe, that would be great. And just let me know how I'm doing. I am just starting out, and, well, I say I'm just starting out, 6 months, a year, an amount of time, and trying to get better and grow my channel. I will be looking to add some things, and of course sprucing up the channel itself, getting myself a logo, an opening, and a closing. But yeah, that's all I have for tonight. We'll have further things going forward. I'll try and do one of these every week that I'm not doing a battle report. I will probably do a few kind of either hype or lore questions, or just discussing the hobby. Not just this one, but just all of the games that I enjoy playing and all of the lore therein. Magic's about to drop a new set of D&D, and I will definitely be talking about that once it comes out and we see more about that. So if you do like multiple games, feel free to come by and enjoy hobby goodness all around gaming, especially games that particularly have interesting lore stories. And if you have any that you think I would be interested, or if you have any that you are interested in, let me know, and I'd be happy to check them out. I shouldn't be, but I'm always happy to grab another game. Don't tell my wife, she will hunt me down. Safely. But yeah, that's it.